Uh, welcome to the wait. Do 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 do. Here, imagine if there was like introductory news music right there, but I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get you information really quickly about stuff. So this is news for the 43rd week of 2021. What is it? It's like we're headed into October 27th, so that means we're headed into Halloween here coming up. Hope you're ready if that's a thing that you do. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm just gonna go through it. So in many ways, this last 7 days was not very eventful. I mean, not in the sense of like anything useful uh, that you might care about to happen on this stream. I'm the TLDR of this entire newscast is that the last 7 days was mostly about me doing work at work, doing a little bit of Kubernetes stuff, and being largely distracted by IRL streaming and considering IRL streaming in general as a thing. And I have that as the first item on the community. I don't have any other announcements from the community to make. If you have an announcement, if you get a job or you want to share something with the community, let us know. I'd love to share it with everybody else. Um, so the first item I have on the community news is that I actually did add a 2 or 3 hour session for Digital Nomad and IRL streaming, planning and all of that on Tuesday afternoon. And Leslie, another streamer from is also looking at it. There's a number of streamers who are like trying to look at what being a digital nomad would look like and starting to do the IRL thing. I'll just tell you right out the bat, I dream of like living out of my car or van and just streaming from it, and being able to do my job. And if I were younger, I would be doing this all the time. So I've been doing a lot of official and formal and informal research, watching different streamers. Hitch is an outdoor streamer cycling through Portugal, and there's a number of other ones out there. Allison's another IRL outdoor streamer who lives in a van. So this is something that's kind of captivated me this last week, and it's distracted me from a lot of my other goals. And I just want to tell you, as in a community, where the stream is going. We're going to talk about this when I get to the goals list. I I have since kind of come to my senses by the time of doing this that there's no way that I'm going to be able to do Kubernetes certification and build out all the stuff that I want to do, including the whole live community Kubernetes, cluster API that I've been talking about doing, um, and as well as get my head around the new SRT protocol for streaming and all stuff. So the takeaway is most of my IRL streaming plans are going to stay on this channel. I'm not going to try to do an extra channel. I thought about doing that, and then I thought about affiliate and how hard it would be to get that all over again and everything. But it's going to be focused on taking y'all on the road with me when I go to art gallery crawls and when I go on runs and stuff like that. So that will be coming sometime in 2022. But I'm not going to be living out of my car in 2022. Not yet, anyway. I'm working on it though. There was a lot of like sitting around the campfire, just shooting the breeze this week, and reminiscing and getting nostalgic. Blah blah blah. In fact, I didn't even play any computer game this week. I didn't play any computer games this week. I just sat around and waxed nostalgic. However, one night when I was the quick story on this drama, everybody, I get asked about this a lot, so I'm gonna net it out really quick. I refuse to go into the details on the stream. In fact, if you bring it up on the stream outside of this moment, Twitch drama is caused to be banned from my stream. So I would prefer you not bring it up or talk about it beyond what I'm about to say. But there's enough questions around what happened that I'm just gonna kind of shut those questions up and then move on. So I'm gonna give you my version of the story, and if you want their version of the story, you can ask them. But Linus Does Tech and Luke were here on late night, and I was watching them from my bed on my Twitch stream as I dozed off to sleep. I was watching them on my phone, and I proceeded to see them like start trashing the crap out of Linux while trying to install this absolutely shitty game that they had no business installing whatsoever as an experiment. And then their whole community came unglued and started attacking the Linux community in the chat, and then the Linux community in the chat started attacking back, and I was right in the front attacking back. And and then it's true story. I unfollowed in disgust, and suddenly I couldn't do anything. Uh, a Steam Man version of Robin coming. Uh, I I couldn't I couldn't chat any longer. I actually shot myself in the foot by turning unfollowing, and I had to wait 10 minutes. I said, "Fine, fuck it." And so I was pacing in the house. I was trying to. I had to be up at 5 a.m. for the next day to do production and install, and I couldn't sleep. So what I did was I did what I always did. I went to my zettelkasten and I started ranting, and I ranted in a very personal way. I mean, I uh, I I was making personal attacks against Linus and especially Luke. Uh, Spoiler alert: there's actually kind of a rainbow at the end of the story. Luke and I left on fantastic terms so much that people were teasing us about being, a new bromance because here's what went down. So I'm writing this big long thing which has since been deleted. Don't even ask. And um and I was kind of venting, and then somebody I wrote pretty much all of it, and then I looked up to see if anybody was watching or what they were saying or anything, and somebody says, "You're live right now on Linus Does Text channel," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I mean, because I was really mean. I was really angry and I was really mean. And but to my credit, at the end of it, I was like, I am really angry right now. I'm shaking. I'm so angry because I've had to defend the Linux community my entire life. And here I am again, and I'm doing it again, but I'm going to sleep on this before I make a video about it. And then maybe I got something wrong. I'm going to try to live by my own code of conduct, which is give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just frustrated, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of talked myself off the edge, but the problem is I did it all live. So because while I was doing it live, all these other people started chiming in, and all of a sudden I started bing, 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 bing. I got all these follows, and I was like, what's going on? And sure enough, while I was writing it, and then I got on the mic because I had to talk myself through it, because honestly I was like shaking. I was so pissed off. And I mean, you can imagine people attacking Linux, right? So then Luke joined. Luke joined. I went, wait, is that the same? Yeah, that's him. And we had an exchange and we talked through stuff. And actually, I'm really happy that he joined after I'd already kind of talked myself off the edge, because I was really mad. Anybody that knows me knows when I get mad how I can be, and I was really pissed. You just attacked the thing that I love, but not only that, you attacked the community that I love. And no, you're not going to sit back and by the way, I'm not the only one, and I'm not one to pump up this trauma any further than what I'm going to tell you. But I told this to somebody a couple days ago, and they said, because I deleted the whole thing, made some jokes with Luke and I. We went back and forth, and we actually ended up shaking hands and go parting ways. And I still haven't talked to him since then. I probably could. I have no ill will toward Linus. I said some things that were really over the top. That obviously were just me being really angry, and I don't actually believe any of those things. I actually think Linus Sucks Tech has done tremendous things for the Linux community, um, and one of the pieces that they have done is Anthony. Anthony, I think, is the rock solid member of their team who has really been the patient, Linux person in the group who just sips his coffee when he's having, he doesn't, but, and there's a problem with stuff. So I have no ill will toward Linus Does Tech or Luke, but that night I felt really, really attacked, and I feel like they were attacking people that I love and the thing that I love, and I overreacted, and I pulled it down and deleted it, and it's all gone. But now so if you hear about it. But I did find out after the fact, when I told this, that there was apparently the creator of Pop! OS really took Linus Does Tech to task. That's all I've heard. It's a rumor. I haven't read a single Twitter feed or anything about it. I'll let you make your own conclusions and stuff. But suffice it to say that Linus Does Tech, their channel right now, is undergoing some pretty strong scrutiny from the Linux community. I've unfollowed them. I don't really care to hear anything they have to say anymore after that. That they might change their opinion over time, but right now, I really don't care. And I'm just kind of doing the same thing that Linux people tend to do. the proper way to, when the whole world tells you you're stupid for not using a graphic interface. That's what they were saying, by the way. They were saying that we were stupid for, it's 2021. Why are you using a terminal? We haven't used a terminal in 20 years. We've been using graphic interfaces since that time. Get on board, get up to, and they were saying things like this. And you can just imagine how I reacted to that. They're like saying, "Oh, that's only for old people and dumb people who can't get into the modern era." And I was like, "Really? Oh, it's on. It's on." Okay, so that's more than I wanted to say about that. But now you have all the dirt, and I'd rather you not have the other details because I'm not proud of the things I said. I'm pretty good with words, and I got pretty rhetorically aggressive. Anyway, so in other news. Nobody wants to hear about any of the other news after that. They're like, "Oh, what's up?" Okay, so let me have some coffee here. Louis Enti's been really, really kind to me. He's in the chat. He's been saying, "Rob keeps prophesying stuff," and I'm like, that's pretty. Some aggressivity is a nice thing. Someone says in the chat, "In this world, you got to attack first before they eat you." The thing that angered me the most about this, I'm back here again, right? Is because they have a huge freaking microphone. You know what I mean? They have a huge freaking microphone. They have so much influence over the up and coming world. And I've taken my own money and retirement out and started a business to promote Linux. And I know I've seen firsthand what it can do to people who learn it, either for gaming or for whatever else. And I know how it can really, really alter their future. And I see the drought of technologists, which we're going to get to, and how much people need Linux skills and we can't find them. And so for somebody with a megaphone like Linus Does Tech to come out and say, Linux sucks. Now, that's not what they said. That's not what they said. But they, in many, many very indirect ways with that specific game, they were saying, "Oh, look, the community doesn't understand that it's hard," and blah, blah. They were basically coming away saying, "You should really not bother with Linux." Oh my God, why would anybody do that? And Anthony wasn't there to defend it. I'm sure I would pay anything to have seen Anthony's reaction to that whole conversation the next day. I would seriously, I would pay $100 to have been present to see Anthony's response to everything that went down that night, because he wasn't there to do his normal kind of like wise, like, pulling people back and stuff. And so they just went to town. Did I don't know. Did I get it right? I don't watch the channel that much. I think it's Linus Does Tech, right? It's like, he's a big old fucking streamer. I mean, he's a huge streamer. One of the biggest. He gets sponsorships from like massive companies and everything. I'm sure you'll find him it's a YouTube thing. He's a YouTube streamer. Oh, Linus Tech Tips. It shows you how much I know. There have been a couple of good things out there. Like he reviewed the Msi Trident, which is the thing I put in my lab after the fact. Actually, it was kind of validating because I already bought it. And so yeah, there you go. Let's move on. So, but to make the point about Linux being important in the industry, so two really big pieces of news came out. So, and I'm going to let you do your own research, but Cisco bought Replex, which is a company that's all about creating increased observability in the Kubernetes namespace and cloud native. And if that is all Greek to you, I'm sorry. Don't worry, but that was to kind of make the point. Actually, Louis Enti posted that because I had said in the past, if you want to go make $1 billion quadrillion, create a startup that is focused on making financial visibility of how all these pieces are working together, how much it's going to cost. And that's exactly what Replex does. And it made big news, and they made cajillion millions of dollars. I don't know how many. So it's just to go to show that this stuff is actually going down. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about is relevant. It's all Linux based, of course. The other big news, so it seems like 2 weeks ago, Amazon made their big thing saying they're giving all their training for cloud native away for free. And now Google is making a big stink about training 40 million cloud natives, but within a year or 5 or something like that. I didn't even read the whole article. But all of these, this is just to confirm the prediction I made some time ago that the big companies are not going to be able to find enough people to run the services that are trying to sell to these other big companies who have crazy amounts of money. So this is a really big industry thing that's happening right now. And I'm telling you, because if you play this right, you will come away like right now it's the labor, right now it's the workers market. They can't get people fast enough. And they can't hire them and train them enough. So you have these huge cloud providers, the Googles, the Amazons, the Azures, right? And they have these amazing services. They're paying millions of dollars, if not trillions, to prepare and get ready. And then they have these other huge companies over here who have gobs and gobs of money who are ready to pay to use those services. Guess what they don't have? The people in the middle to make it happen. They don't have it. There's a massive drought. The Wall Street Journal wrote a whole article about it. I covered it in the news like 3 weeks ago. They don't have enough people. They don't have people skilled enough to do it. Guess what the number one skill is to be able to do that? Containers and Linux. Containers are built on Linux. Containers come from Linux. Kubernetes is Linux container orchestration. All of it comes under Linux. Linux is where C groups came from. There's other container systems, but Linux is the one that we've decided to use. So if you want to be like, there's tons of money to be paid, and there's tons of money like sponsoring the whole thing. And if you get in the middle of that money stream, I don't know if that's your thing, but that's where you really want to know. Okay. Definitely prophesying. So look, security is fine. If you want to do security, fine. Do CKS. Do security that's based on cloud native stuff. If you want to do web development, fine. Do web development that is focused on deploying applications into a Kubernetes orchestration system, into a cloud, right? Or do web applications that are helping to do stuff in Kubernetes. But right now, I'm telling you, if you want to be permanently employed and also the average certified cloud native certified person right now, the average salary is $170K in America. That's not me saying that. That's actually the study that came out that's talking about this whole thing, the Wall Street Journal. The average certified, now you have to have a lot of skills to be able to do that. You have to basically be a junior network engineer at least. You have to be able to do coding. You have to be able to do a minimal amount of Go. You have to be able to do, any kind of systems operations and infrastructure. You have to basically have all the SRE skills. So you have a lot of skills to have, but if you get those skills, the average salary is $170K, and that not a single one of those skills is taught in college. None of it. If you're lucky, you're maybe going to learn the Linux command line in MIT's The Extra semester, where they teach you how to actually use Linux. Look it up. I'm not exaggerating that at all. There's no colleges that very few of them teach you Linux and that kind of thing. So it's not just me that's here to teach you this, but I'm telling you, learn Linux. So the takeaway is learn Linux. Don't be shy away from it. You can play games on it if you want. They just can't be crappy games. And you can you learn containers. And I cover that in the boost, and I'm not making any money hardly off of this. I mean, YouTube, I get $63 a month off all the YouTube views. It's a true story. So, this isn't about the money. This is about helping you out. And if you want to do this, go do the boost for like the first 41 days and then kind of take it from there, right? Become an autodidact and learn those skills. And I did another video last week about actually, I think was it this week or was it last week? Oh, no, here it is. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it later. I did a video called What are the Prerequisites to Learning Kubernetes? And that one is a really good overview, what you should kind of set out for yourself to learn if you want to do it. Okay, so how far are we in? We're on 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour. I am going to zip through the Zettels. I'll probably delete some of them. So a link to the boost, it's just GitHub. Just GitHub rdbxrob/boost. Yeah, that's where you go for that. And there's a YouTube video. Somebody can get you a link to that. There's a playlist. That's all it is boost. I do the boost every year. And the last 2 years, I've been doing it by day. If you do the boost, by the way, make sure you do the 2021 boost, which is based on containers on like the second day. There's two things that I focused on in the boost this year: containers and filters, the Unix philosophy. We didn't get to Vim. We didn't get to networking. We didn't get to tmux. Those are all things that I still want to do. I have other videos on that if you need to get to that. But please, if you have questions about it, it was actually kind of a fun boost because there's some, I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to watch it. I will be doing another boost in summer. It's another reason that I don't want to probably do the digital native thing. I do want to do a boost on May 4th again. And boost. Yeah, boost. Beginner boost, we call it. All right. So It's just something I don't know if I'm going to keep it in, but this is just a list of all the Zettels that I've written or updated since. This is actually just the ones I've written, new ones since last week. So I'm just doing this so that I'm just going to read the titles in case you're podcast mode and you're just listening. So I did one, and we answered a lot of AMA questions this week. We're going to do AMA right after this, by the way. So can I fork your zettelkasten? I talk about the permissions and property rights of that. The answer is yes, but you can't change anything. You can't send a PR request. You can't make a derivative work of any kind. And I talk about why. It's a short answer there. Get your RDMX booster shot. Oh my God. Taniwa, that's so cringe. Why would you say that? Question. Here's another question. What do you think about CodeAcademy and DataCamp? You're going to have to watch that one. It has a whole video on it. That video goes pretty long, actually. So get ready. I'm not going to answer that right now. I got to be, this is supposed to be the news, so I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm just telling you it's there. I wrote a thing about adding an init system to containers, all the different systems. I've been struggling with trying to get systemd to work within Docker containers, and because I'm trying to make host containers into pseudo virtual machines, which I know is not a good thing, but I'm doing it anyway, just because it would be easier than making a whole bunch of VMs and burning up a whole bunch of CPUs. So there's a thing on that. Kind of Minikube effectively do not support Podman. I tried to run Podman in kind of Minikube and failed miserably. It's just full of bugs, and you can feel my pain in that. If you're going to use kind of Minikube, I would stay with Docker. That's my summation. Cloud native and Kubernetes co-learning. So yeah, I did a lot of cloud native co-learning. So that's out there for you to watch. Considering using Ceph for home storage. So somebody mentioned Ceph to me, CEPH for home storage, to kind of leverage all your home storage. So it's just a note to look into that. Check out Christopher Tin, Baba Yetu Give. I don't know who this is, but somebody I need to look into. I put my to-dos in here too, so maybe you could look into that too. I made a list of my current domains and what I'm planning on doing with those. I did. Right. I did a lot of scripting your GUI desktop from the Bash shell because I was doing transparency and stuff, and using dconf and dbus and all that kind of stuff. So there's some of that going on. If you want to watch me do that, I don't have anything new in my .dot files yet, but that's where it'll show up. I'll have some new .dot files commands pretty soon that are going to change the transparency. The goal I have is I want to be able to run one command that changes all my colors, makes my background transparent, changes my tmux colors, and changes my terminal at the same time. So it does all of those things, and that's something I can only do from a bash script. The talking to GNOME, which I like. I'm a GNOME fan. Live stream ideas and planning. We spent a large amount of time this week planning the future of the stream and potentially an Artivix Rob Live in addition to TV. I've since concluded to not do any of that. It was just too much extra work, and it's just me. So we're just going to stay that, and I'll add IRL elements to this stream at the expense of the fishies and music on occasion. So I know people like the fishies and music, and sometimes they would like that to just be on all the time, and sometimes they regret when I break in and it's actually me. At least that's a feeling I get sometimes. So, but I'm just going to keep it all on one stream for now. Yet another NPM massive security flaw. You can go read about it. It's insane. It's so bad. I don't see why anybody uses NPM in production. And in an enterprise, that's all I have to say about that. Some more Q&A. How do I set up links on Windows 10? So I did a full video on Windows 10 and how to do links on it. The short answer is you don't. Links only works in Linux really effectively. And it talks a lot about W3, how to set it up, and I talk specifically about how I set mine up on there. How to run Linux, that led to another video, how to run Linux on Windows. This is probably the shortest, and it's still about an hour long. I hope it's less than that, but this is probably the shortest, most modern summation of how to run Linux on Windows, according to what I can determine as a best practice about how to do it most quickly. The short answer is run a container, use a container engine of some kind, Docker desktop still is my leading recommendation, and VMs, install VirtualBox and run a VM. Those are the two main ways to do it. WSL2 is still an option if you want to do that. I don't suggest it. I would rather people use Docker desktop with WSL so that they can actually try out different versions of Linux rather than be stuck with whatever WSL2 provides through their market and stuff like that. It's actually better to have a container to do that if you're going to be on the terminal. If you don't want to do terminal, you want to try out i3 or something, or SUSE or whatever, you need a VM for that. What are the prerequisites for learning Kubernetes? This is definitely an hour-long video. It goes through kind of the path that for learning Kubernetes and the prerequisites and then how to get there. I'm not pulling punches. It's hard work. So go watch that. OMG, Twitch Markdown is so bad. So the Twitch stuff is just a pain in the butt. And I actually went through and updated all of my emojis, and that I went through and updated all the emojis to show. So it's down here, right here. So here's the emoji. I think I did do a video on that. Actually did. Yeah, there it is. What do the emojis mean? So you can go watch that video. That'll tell you what my different modes are. So I told you we were trying to think about what to do with the stream, and I've been kind of trying to automate some things with the stream and add some commands. I see people trying to do commands right now, and they're not supported yet. There's a lot of things I want to add to the stream. So that was kind of one of the topics to this week about how to do that. And one of the things that came out of it was making sure that I follow my emoji modes. So the modes are kind of the state of the stream. So if you see a fish, you're just going to see fish on the screen and music. If you see a clipboard or whatever, a clip thing, that means that we're recording, and that if you are saying anything live, it'll be recorded. And then there's lots of levels in between there, including partying, which is just like absolute craziness, and stuff. Ranting. I should have put the ranting on. I didn't that night. I probably should. People will see the rant and be like, oh. But yeah, I ran into a bunch of problems with Markdown, and I called them out on it so that I know not to do that next time. Mark, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not a Twitch person, you probably don't care. Somebody did post this funny problems with your mouse. Somebody, actually, who made this? I can't remember. I need to give him credit. Somebody made a really funny picture. We were talking about tmux and links, and it's got a cat that ate a mouse, and it's kind of cool. Q&A, what do emojis mean? I just talked about that. Any tips to help with Linux end user support? We have somebody in our community is doing Linux. They were thrown into to replace a guy who's been doing Linux for 10 years in the job, and now they're getting all the Linux questions. And we were like joking about, what does that look like when a Linux user has a question? And we had fun. That's a video. You can go watch that. What app do you use to take notes? This is me, going into the whole common mark. I don't use any app. You should just no apps for you. You should make your own app. But whatever works, right? I did go through my goals, my personal goals. I don't know if that interests you, but I reviewed all my status on my personal goals for 2021. Kind of get a sense of where we're at. And I added a thing called the current AMA questions, which I'll just delete. That's something to keep track of what our AMA. So when we get AMA questions, I can go to them. We're going to have another AMA right after this, and we have a couple of AMA questions queued up. Goal status, got that. Oh, Louis C.K., I know he's been canceled for good reasons, but there's a funny airplane comedy bit that I've been looking for forever, and Louis Senti found it. It's about being grateful to be flying in the sky in a chair, and it's really funny. It's a funny video. The Pareto rule. This is a write-up about something that I don't know anything about that I need to go back and study. So that's kind of a to-do for me to go study the Pareto rule. I don't know what it is. I need to study it. So maybe you can beat me to it. Let's see, malware bytes. Oh, you guys talk about viruses now, huh? You're roasted today by Docker permissions. Interesting. Yeah. In a Linux container. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to see. So here we have Kube Public is created by KubeAdmin. So there's a number of namespaces that I just learned about that are created by KubeAdmin. I've been doing an audit of all of our namespaces, and I didn't know Kube was public. I'm still learning Kubernetes. I did find out that my team unwittingly decided to name one of our namespaces Cube-Backup, and I was all over the internet looking for it. Where is Cube-Backup? Did I miss something? And there is no Cube-Backup. Our team created it and named it, even though the official documentation says Cube- is reserved. Thou shalt not name your namespaces anything with a cube dash in front, lest you cause confusion for the rest of your world and team, which is what they did. And I kind of, sheepishly said, "Hey, why is this name Q dash backup? It says right here we're not supposed to name it that." And they're like, "I don't know, cuz." So I know that's mean. That's mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound mean. They really didn't care. They're like, whatever. It's fine. Like, yeah, until Kubernetes decides to come out with cube dash backup officially, and then we're screwed. So don't be screwed. No, not to name things cube dash. Now you know more than I did. Planning IRL streaming, digital nomad. I wrote a lot of stuff about where I'm going to do IRL streaming. I'm going to be doing SRT, which is Secure Reliable Transfer Protocol, which is a new protocol that uses X265 instead of 264, which is not supported by Twitch or anything else. So you have to actually stream it over a VPN to your home machine and then redirect it through OBS back up to Twitch. That is going to be my IRL streaming approach. It's documented really well by Speezy on YouTube, and I'm super excited to work that in beginning next year, probably over Christmas when I have more free time. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that. I just took a note to my Elsa. I did another stream today and it just messed up my sound settings, and I noticed that the Elsa mixer was set to 33, so I made a note to go back and do that. You might want to set your gain down on your mics and using Elsa mixer. If you don't know about Elsa mixer in general, you should probably also look into that. Kubernetes 1.22 officially supports kubelet with swap memory. And this is just a note for myself and others. It is now true. It is now true to say you can leave swap on. Will there be a Matrix chat room? Yes. Just give me time. There definitely will be a Matrix chat room. Unless you want to do it for me. If you want to set it up for me, we can talk. I'll put that in the Q&A too. Let's do one of those in the Q&A. So, that's all the Zettels that were written since the last week. Have you done it before? Yeah. I mean, let's talk. Let's do that. Let's talk about that in EMA. You bridge Discord? Yeah, I need to bridge Discord. So yeah, it's probably something that we should cover in the community. So let's put this here. So still working on Matrix. Let's put .org so people don't get freaked out. And Discord bridge. So the ultimate thing that we're going to have, actually, Guizio, I actually want to tie this together with an independent application that does all the synchronization across all of them using an independent API. Yeah, this is part of an application that I want to build, that I wanted to build for a long time, where you have a chat provider, and then you have a plugin to it, and then it goes up into the cloud, and then you have a client to the cloud that pulls down all the data to whatever source you want. So I don't want to do direct Matrix to Discord integration. I want to do Discord to the cloud to the platform that I'm developing, and I want to do Matrix to the thing, and I want to do IRC to the thing, and then I want to be able to provide clients to the thing, kind of like Pigeon did in the old days, like RW Grimm covers in Twitch, because I think that there's more of a demand for a universal central store for communication and stuff. So that's basically the reason that I haven't done that yet. And we're probably going to be deploying that application as a Kubernetes application. In fact, I didn't write about it, but last week I spent a good amount of time looking into Kubernetes, like turnkey Kubernetes in the cloud. I'm probably going to try it on DigitalOcean because it's the cheapest. $10 a month, man. $10 a month for Kubernetes. And I have nothing to do with DigitalOcean other than I love them to death. $10 a month for Kubernetes cloud. And so I'm probably going to be doing that as part of my CCAD training, and also because I've been wanting to build this universal chat app that spans IRC, Matrix, Discord, YouTube, and comments and Discord messages in a certain channel. I want it all to go into one thing and then be able to go into it. And that is an open source project. I don't know what to call it yet. Right now I've been calling it MemWorks Community Manager, but we'll see. I've been saving that name for a while, MemWorks. So that's like something. If you want to be a participant in that effort, let me know, because it's going to be a lot of coding. There's going to be a lot of coding. We're going to be writing a Kubernetes application from the ground up. I'm trying to decide whether to make it an operator or not, and whether to use an operator for the installation. But if you want to be a participant in the software development for an actual application that is Kubernetes aware from day one, let me know. That's kind of one of the bigger projects. I've been trying to decide whether to do that project. I mean, I've been doing shell scripts and stuff for integration with YouTube and GitHub and everything. I'm trying to decide the scope of that and how that meets with, that's why I did my goals this week, how much of that work crosses over with my goal to get certified by July, if not the end of 2021. And if I get sucked too much into doing applications development and I get pulled away from just doing one-off applications to test out my CCAD skills, which I've already done. I mean, I've already done minimal applications in Kubernetes. I don't know how much that's going to cross over. This is also the reason that a lot of the boost content has been pushed off. One of the goals, I should probably say, I'm kind of rehashing this, but one of the goals for this, I've just had to own it, but for 2021, I had a lot of goals on the table to finish all the boost content and the badges and the open credential merit system and all of that. And I'm starting to realize that there's just not enough time in the day to do all of that and have a full-time job. So unfortunately, the only beginner content, instructional content you're going to see from me until at least January 2022 is going to be me getting ready for those certifications, answering quick questions for you if you have a beginner question, sending you off to do the boost for, which is actually turning out, the more I've been doing the Kubernetes stuff, the more I realized that the boost content for 2021, even though I stopped when we got into the networking, it's actually still really relevant, all the container stuff and everything. So I will commit to our beginners out there to be here for you for AMA times. We now have 2 AMA times that are 2 hours each, one on Wednesday and one on Sunday at sort of different times. So we can do it. I actually did another Sunday evening, 11 p.m. AMA. So rather than focus on building the boost content and the Occam's badges and all that stuff, I'm going to be available to the beginners to help you get started. But I'm not going to be creating guided content or even requirements-based content for now. And then if everything goes well, I'll be ready with all of those badges and everything by next May. May the 4th is traditionally our kickoff time for boosts every year. I have to redo the content every year because it gets out of date. Imagine doing all the content necessary to become a technology associate every year. And if you're not, and I'm going to start recruiting help. And the reason I'm breaking up the content into credentials, they're called, open credentials, which is kind of a list of suggested things to do that you can prove to yourself and to others that you know how to do this thing, earn the merit badge. It's actually based on that. I'm going to start needing help. I'm going to need help from people to take on a badge and write it down, a straw man version of all the requirements in terms of job description. Set up a user using RBAC permissions in Kubernetes or something, line items, and then come up with what the line items for this thing would be, and this thing, and this thing. And then we can open source the development of credentials that prove your merit and that everyone agrees on. And then I won't have to be the only one maintaining the list of requirements. We can actually hopefully farm it out to the community. And so one of the reasons I came to this, we got to networking on day 42 and I realized that I'm not a networking expert. That in fact, I felt like sort of an imposter talking about networking. I know enough networking to be dangerous and to get my job done, but I would rather the list of requirements for a networking thing come from someone like LTM Bob or one of our certified network engineers, and have them put together a merit badge, for, I call it an Occam's badge, for networking. And then we have somebody come up, multi-level, right? So level 1 is, you're a beginner, you can come up with your own terms, right? Level 1 is like, found basics. Level 2 is essentials. Level 3 is proficiency. Level 4 is excellence. No, level 4 was, I can't remember if it was excellence. It was innovation. And then level 4 was excellence. Those are levels above. Level 3 is proficiency. You can get a job doing. So these leveled badges, these levels, open credential merit system badges, Occam's badges, are my attempt to codify at least to capture in a way that can be forked and extended, and there's no way locked down the learning that has to happen. But that's now that is going to be my focus for 2022, early 2022. I'm not going to work on that at all until I get certified in Kubernetes. I need to finish those up because I paid the money and everything. So I'm going to get the certifications first. But if you are interested in any of that I've talked about, and so hey, welcome. So the only reason I even wanted to mention this this stuff here is because, and the reason that dovetailed into that conversation about where the beginner boost content is coming from and going, is because I'm not going to work on the matrix chat stuff unless it's a part of something that's going to give me the CCAD certificate this year. If for some reason you are a Linux person already and you've got something of a network skills and you want to train along with me to get your Kubernetes certificate, or not, or at least have the equivalent experience, now is the time to really tune into my stream, because between now and December, I've done it so much, I've kind of burned out on it. In fact, last 2 weeks ago, I did so much Colearning Kubernetes, I was like sick of it. I didn't want to seek anything with Kubernetes for like a week. And so last week, I kind of went all about the IRL stream and went outside more and everything, and I kind of overreacted. So, but I'm going to be back to doing almost nothing but training for Kubernetes, and getting into that stuff. If I can do it in a fun way by having it have an application that relates to my stream or something, that also gets me closer to learning how to deploy an application, get my CCAD, for example, that's the first one I have to get, then so be it. But otherwise I have to focus on doing that. So now's the time to watch if you want to learn and make mistakes with me. I'm not a pro by any means. And learn in terms of Kubernetes, even though I'm professionally paid to do so. So I did do a pretty awesome production upgrade. I helped out a guy with a production upgrade this week. I didn't know the steps to do it, but it was really fun helping him, and I caught some things this weekend. So that was actually, we did that on Saturday. I was a member of Big O. We actually added 2 more control plane nodes to our cluster of work, and I was there for creating the new etcd and the new certificates and all that jazz, and joining the nodes. It's pretty interesting work. So I think that's it. I think that covers it for the news. We're about ready to hit into AMA. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up on this video. I think it's a little bit under an hour. Thanks for that. If again, the point of the news is for you to kind of get a sense of what you can go deep dive in if you care about anything else. I don't want people to have any FOMA week to week. And it's a good thing too for me. It kind of helps me review, what was my last week about? Where do I need to redirect? Where did I get off track? And that kind of thing. So I'm going to take a break. We're going to end right now, and I'll be back for AMA at 9. All right, that's in about 15 minutes.